everyone, and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Information. I'm Jeanie Greene, and once again, we travel to remote villages in rural Alaska, sharing the lives of the good people that live there. And this week, we travel to Chignik Lagoon, a village situated on the Alaska Peninsula, a village facing some very unique challenges. I'll be back with Chignik Lagoon right after this.
Heartbeat Alaska would like to thank the following sponsors for making our show possible. Brown's Electric. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support. Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Flying Service. Thank you, Frontier, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
Heartbeat Alaska is made possible by Kupik Carlisle Transportation, your full-service transportation and logistics company.
And a special thank you to Spruce Cove Accommodations of Chignik Lagoon for making this episode possible.
Yeah, high water in the morning, so maybe we can get a few out of the blind channel or something.
First off, we are subsistence fishermen, you know, the way of our life.
It must be about low water now, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to run down and check grounds.
Where was this one from? It was from Andy. He dropped it.
I don't know how it's going to work.
Table saw and move drivers.
I love Chignik Lagoon. I've lived here all my life. And I think it's wonderful.
I just like it a lot.
We'll go to work. More fun than fishing.
One of the last towns at the end of the Alaska Peninsula, Chignik Lagoon is a place where everyone knows everyone else. People don't lock doors, and life moves at the speed of the tides. Politics and worries about the outside world take a backseat to more important and immediate concerns, like fixing your boat's motor.
You know, if you haven't changed this key switch, that's what I was going to do. You must up the...
Oh, the linkage in there, yeah.
Where it's coiled. And I've been working trying to get it back. I finally got it back all in there, but see what happens. Still when I screwed it up.
There it is.
It's my two sons, Hal and Rodney Anderson, and they're putting in a... They just got done putting in a new septic tank for me.
Ready, old chap?
Now we should have one that'll last for another 50 years, maybe.
Stuff is pretty soft.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
The jump boat?
Okay, Andy. And the rest are all out on the dock.
Oh, okay. I'll grab them.
The only way in and out of town is by plane or boat. No roads connect the community to other villages, but people do import vehicles for getting around town.
Life here in Chignik Lagoon is really, it's really calm. I really enjoy it. It's a really great place to raise children.
Kids only have a minute walk to school.
In a fishing village like Chignik Lagoon, people take care of themselves. There still are needs, though. Larry McCormick keeps utilities running smoothly, a job he likes because he can stay close to his family.
I do quite a few jobs, take care of the water system, the garbage, and the power, and also the sewer.
and also the village maintenance guy. This here's the water tank right up here. It doesn't freeze like the other one did, and it's bigger. It keeps up with the demand of the village. Just on the other side of that greenhouse is Andersonville, and you can see all the way down to I don't know what they call that road, 2nd Street or 1st Street.
The village's spiritual needs are looked over by Monroe Campbell.
Yeah, we have a Sunday school and church here every Sunday, 11 o'clock. We've had that for many, many years. We watched a lot of the kids grow up, and makes us feel old because some that were kids then have grandchildren now. So
He describes the church as interdenominational, where everyone is welcome. He and his wife even have a special program for the children.
well, they have a flannel graph, they have songs, and memorizing scripture, that sort of thing. That's, you don't know what flannel graph is? That's when they have a flannel background and flannel characters that will stick up there, and they put them up as they tell the Bible story. It's illustrated for the children is what it is.
People in the area have always been dependent on the ocean, first living on sea otter and whale, and now taking their livelihood from salmon fishing.
Fishing, you know, get to go out, catch fish, be on the boat.
Oh, we go out and catch them, clean them, can them, smoke them, you know, we do it all.
Me, I've lived here for 84 years, 2 years in the Army in World War II. So when I was about 10 years old, it used to be a lot different then. It used to get a lot colder. And this whole bay would freeze, or the lagoon. But now it doesn't anymore, hardly.
Change finds even the most remote villages in Alaska. Many feet have trod these grounds. Many languages have been spoken here. And skin boats have given way to internal combustion engines. But one thing remains the same. People here have always lived off the land.
I was 14. We lived strictly off the land. Ducks and rabbits and whatever we could get.
We got moose. We used to have caribou. There isn't anymore. I don't know why. It's maybe because of the trophy hunters.
It's people who live here that have to survive off the land, off of the fish.
Don't get a chance to go out and get your subsistence fish. Well, you're not going to get a chance to eat fish unless you go to a supermarket and buy it. And we don't really like doing that.
Get all the fresh fish, crab, clams, and everything you want. Could live from the ocean itself.
I think it's a healthy way of life. The one thing you have to go out and get your food.
We're out getting subsistence or alders for our smoked salmon.
I use just alder, straight alder. I used to use cottonwood, but it got too bitter for my taste. So.
What we're looking for is a thick-based one, so they don't burn up so quickly and just kind of smolder.
Just open fire. And that'll smolder and smoke. And it's warm out today, so we're trying to get the smoke as cool as possible. Get the fish where they won't get hot. If you get them hot, they'll start cooking and flaking the meat, you know. The difference in the texture is really important. You keep it.
For a culture that lives and breathes by the ebb and flow of marine life, the water dictates everyday existence.
We grew up on the boat. From the time we could walk, we were on the boat, and many good memories of fishing. Some years were bad, but we always seemed to make it.
I think I started running the boat since I was 16 and fished all my life.
1947, the big year they had. I think I put in 47,000 fish, you know, seine. Well, at the price you get, we made a lot of money then.
There's a big old king salmon in there. Woo! Now that's a big one.
Let's try to pull it up, see if it'll move.
The seemingly simple life of fishing and neighborly camaraderie is not as idyllic in Chignik Lagoon as it might seem.
It's peaceful. It's very peaceful. It's harmony at its best, with the exception of a few people.
A dagger has driven into this village, dividing every last man, woman, and child on one immense issue.
Kind of weird. Lots of people talk about it.
I think there's good and bad parts to the co-op.
Co-op has changed me. I mean, I look at them and say, you're a co-opper, and walk away.
When people get together and the things they say to each other, you know, things that are hateful.
There's a few people that basically, in my opinion, are stupid.
I don't think that's necessary at all.
You know, I'll say something ugly to them, but I regret it because I used to be friends with them.
I don't think it's very fair.
The cooperative's benefited everybody. It has. It's a fact.
This co-op deal makes a lot of fishermen jobless. A family man can make it. There's no way.
I have some opinions as to which side is right, but some of my best friends are on the other side from what I'm on right now.
It's tearing us apart.
It's unfortunate because we are such a small community, and those kinds of things really do affect your day-to-day life when you're in such a small village like this.
In January 2002, the Alaska Board of Fisheries established parameters for a cooperative fleet in the Chignik purse seine fishery. The regulations were designed to allow permit holders the chance to fish cooperatively, to reduce costs, and the number of vessels fishing in the area.
What you have to imagine before is back in the competitive days, there was like 80 boats fishing within the Chignik Lagoon. Every single one of them has outboard engines, diesel engines, people using the toilet all day long. And now, at any one given time, there's only like 20 boats. There's only 20 boats fishing within the lagoon. So the environmental impact on the lagoon is, as you can imagine, is essentially 1/4 of what it was. So this method of gear is a very passive, very calm, very quiet way. I mean, it might take 10 boats to catch the same amount of fish that we can do in one little 15-minute set here.
Based on the board's regulations, the Chignik Seafood Producers Alliance formed that year. 77 fishing boats joined, and 22 continued to fish independently. The number fluctuates every year, as some cooperatives decide to fish independently for a season and vice versa. The majority of permit holders, though, have polarized and stick with the method they prefer.
Everybody's got their own opinions and they're strong, and I don't know what you do about it. I really really don't. Except that just let everybody do what they think's best, and still don't look down on them or feel that it's not right. Because I think everybody should make up their own mind what they want to do and do it.
We weren't like the rest of the world, you know, not even like Alaska. I mean, when you think about fishing wise and stuff, but I mean, things changed so fast for us. And at the time when co-op came in, I was like 12, and I started noticing things then, you know, that winter. And I think the whole village did, you know, we all knew it wasn't right the way it came in, and, you know, we didn't think nothing of it because we thought it'd be out like the next year, it'd be all normal because we were kids. But these last 2 years, we've all kind of grew up.
Like most fisheries in Alaska, Chignik Lagoon's overall catch is limited by governmental regulations. The Board of Fisheries counts fish as they come up to spawn and allocates a portion of that number for local fishing. With the establishment of the cooperative fleet, the board gave the new co-op a block of 69.3% of Chignik Lagoon's catch, leaving the other 30.7% for permit holders that remained independent. The co-op is left free to divide that 69% between its boats in whatever manner it chooses, so some crews take up slack left by others.
We're trying to improve the quality of the fish, and that's not going to happen overnight. I mean, we're going to have to work at it.
It's not really fair to have some people working and other people down in the lower 48 getting money from the people who are working.
The competitive fleet sees the co-op as a drain on the town's economy, and members are petitioning their congressmen to end the problematic situation.
There guys fishing other areas and just turning them over to some immediate family member and collecting a check here, and why we have to sit and wait. We got investments in our boats.
They take issue with the co-op paving the way for outside investors who don't have an interest in the village's future.
We're getting run out of our own business by people that have no interest in the fishing business anymore.
We need to change it, you know. We need to do it now and not allow it next year at all.
David Anderson, a cooperative fisherman, agrees that the co-op has detrimentally affected the village. His brother's store is suffering, but he still says that the co-op is the best thing that ever happened to Chignik Lagoon.
Right now, the competitive fleet is getting 74 cents a pound or more advanced. And I think that's the highest in the peninsula, if you look at it. And last year was the same thing. They got the highest price in the peninsula for sockeye salmon. And that has contributed to the co-op. Plain and simple.
The co-op has brought fish sale prices up for the fleet by pooling resources and making the process more economical for its boats. The town is paying a price for that efficiency, however. People are leaving the village.
There's not as many people here, and that's because of the co-op fishing, that's for sure. Yeah, it's just a different atmosphere here. There was a lot of people because everybody was fishing, and now you look around and I can just show you empty house after empty house after empty house, which when we were fishing you had a hard time getting a house if you wanted to bring your family in.
I've heard more people are moving out of the village, and that's not good, you know, not good no matter what.
And you can't blame a young kid for growing up if there's nothing that he's going to make any progress in his life. he's got to be able to have a job and provide a living for his family.
I think that's what this was for, don't you? Yeah.
Al Anderson and his brother Rodney ran Chignik's country store. They were forced to close their doors when the co-op moved into town.
What has happened is it's taken the foot traffic away from our store. Not that the poor seasons would have helped anyway. I thought at first that with the advent of the co-op they would send most of their business to the store, but it didn't turn out that way. People chose to use Trident Store or Chignik Pride Store. And so all their crews and stuff went that way, and the people that used to come to the village to fish for the summer, you know, they are no longer here, so we lost all of that business. By making the fleet more efficient, it's taken the population down here in the summer, and that's what's affected our store.
Dwindling fish populations, as well as other concerns, are also putting a damper on people's lives here.
The way progress has, you know, it takes less guys to man our boats, takes less effort as far as manpower. So it's an easier fishery these days, but if you want to make money, you have to work as hard as you can with the amount of time that we have to fish.
Actually, it's getting harder every year, like I said. It's getting harder all the time. It's not like it used to be.
You just can't make it at that with the high fuel prices and the insurance, and the crew shares, the upkeep on the boats. The airplane fares in and out of here are tremendous. It's just hard to make it anymore in Chignik. It's difficult. And you see that around. And people are trying to diversify a little bit with sport fishing and one thing and another. But as far as the main red salmon here, it doesn't look good.
I'm just mending a hole here.
With the future of Chignik seeming uncertain, some residents are turning to business ideas outside the traditional fishing industry. Peter Bumpus and a partner started a sports fishing and hunting transport company. They believe the only way to survive is to diversify.
I was always throwing the idea around when I was pretty young, and I got my buddy that I grew up with here, and we started talking. We're tired of the fishing industry, and they don't pay us anything for our fish anymore, and so we decided, well, let's start sport fishing.
He sees the town's problems in terms of the greater world's economy and perception.
These days, people, the new generations, they don't really, it's like a supply and demand, and we're seasonal, so they can get fresh farmed fish any time of the year, which puts a damper on our lifestyles because they don't want to pay us. They don't have to pay us high money anymore for our fish. The whole industry is changing, and you can't really blame it on one person. It's just the lack of education amongst the whole world as far as fresh salmon goes.
Whatever tides the rest of the world's economy might follow, and no matter the differences of opinion within the community, people in Chignik Lagoon all share the love of fishing.
Right there. Right there. See him? That big one right there? See the big tail? There he is. That's a king salmon.
I see a little bit of a future, but if fishing keeps on going the way it is, we ain't gonna have none. It's all gonna be gone for our grandkids or their kids.
I wish there was more attraction for them to be able to stay here and make a living here, but it just isn't. It isn't. And I don't know what we can do about it. Maybe the price of salmon will come back one day, but no, I don't know what's going to happen.
I hope we end up getting $1 a pound or plus again, and we can all go fishing like we used to, but at the moment that's not in the cards.
Maybe we're soon not going to have any more fish either, and then what, you know? What are we going to have to fall back on?
I just hope it would go back to it used to, where everybody had to fish independently, and then I think the fish would come back.
Even though facing difficulties, people here see their village as something special, a place set aside from the world's bustle and frenzy. They will always see Chignik Lagoon as home.
Something seems to draw me back here. Now when I go to Anchorage, I get to thinking about Chignik. There's nothing there. But it's still like a magnet draws you back.
The winter times we don't stay here anymore, but I can remember some of the good times we had in the winter. Some people said, well, how can you bear to stay way out there and isolated? Well, we had a good time. We all found something to do, go ptarmigan hunting.
In the winter when there's no ice out, we're always in the skiffs. And it's always about being on the water. You know, if not, we like to go riding and walk and have a good time, you know, find things to entertain ourselves with.
There's really good places to build forts around here, and really good hike places, like the Chinese Hill and hiking up the ridge.
Well, there's not much to do, but we do get around.
We go out and try having fun with what we got. You know, just be happy with what you have. You know, I've been told that a lot throughout my life. Just be happy with what you have and make the best of it.
Beautiful day and life is good. I'd like to be out there catching more fish, but oh well.
With such a deep conflict running through Chignik Lagoon, the town's future might seem shaky. No matter their differences, though, people here know their future lies with each other.
Good enough? Yeah, for now. Change is probably the hardest thing, and this co-op has brought such a tremendous change to the village.
It affects the village life here, and I'm sorry to see it. Maybe it'll work out. I hope so.
Thank you, good people in Chignik Lagoon, for your willingness to share your story, both sides, with the viewers of Heartbeat Alaska. And thank you, everyone, for watching, and will be watching Chignik Lagoon to see how things work out in that beautiful village. God bless every one of you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.